Shooting star. Shashikant slowly pushed the door and entered the house. He realized that it was past midnight. Everyone was fast asleep. Without making any sound, he changed his clothes. He picked up his bed and came out. He made his bed on the cot which was kept out in the front yard. Several coconut trees and a few jackfruit trees were gracing the surrounding. The bright moonlight was penetrating the big leaves of the high coconut trees. Lying on the cot, Shashikant was thinking about the leader's lecture he had attended an hour ago. He had never taken any speech seriously before. On the contrary, he used to maliciously belittle attending a speech by any leader. But that day, he had listened to the thoughts of that leader. And he had turned ardent admirer of the leader's disposition. Shashikant carefully heard whatever the leader spoke. Every word of his speech was biting his conscience. My life has been futile so far. I have been living aimlessly. Have never given a thought to the independent nation. Our country being subjugated by the British has never bothered me. I have been absorbed in self-related things. I have been selfish. But there are many who have understood the true meaning of life. They are sacrificing everything for the cause of the country. They are fighting against the injustice faced by the people. I have never tried to know the meaning of life. But today I have realized what is a worthwhile life. I wanted to do something for society in general, for the country. He remembered the leader. How strongly he put forth his ideas about the country. With his inflammatory speech, he shook up many a mind which were hitherto lethargic. Everyone who attended the meeting was stirred by his speech. He remembered the speaker saying, "By a good chance, this lecture passed without any untoward incident. But no one can say what would happen tomorrow. The oppressive British government may execute me on the charges of inciting the common man. They may send me to gibbet. I am prepared for such an event. But there must be a queue of persons following me ready to get to the gallows. This only will make the Britishers realize that the people have awoken, and whatever happens, finally they will have to leave this country, giving independence to India." At that moment Shashikant saw a falling star. He thought that was a bad omen. He had a shiver with the idea of his respected leader being executed. No. No. This should not happen. The person who made me realize the meaning of life worthy for the nation, should not be snatched from my people. He had to bring many more aimless youngsters like me onto the right path. But if this happens, I should be the next person to follow him. He decided to meet the leader before he left for Mumbai by the morning boat. Shashikant remembered his father talking about his friend, Tatya. He had joined the freedom movement. And Tatya's uncle was arrested on the charge of throwing a bomb at a British man's car. Though no one was hurt, he was arrested and sentenced to 6 months. And when he was released, he was extremely skinny and gaunt. Shashikant recollected that his mother was very upset when her cousin was killed in a firing by the Britishers on a group of people gathered in a temple. Shashikant also realized that there was no effect on him when those incidents actually happened. But he was disturbed that day when he had heard the speech. He wanted to avenge the British for their atrocious treatment of Indians. He also recollected his teacher telling the students that one great person from his district who was fighting against the British tooth and nail, was arrested and sent to Andaman Island for life imprisonment, where only hardcore criminals were sent. Array, but is it not true that those sent to Andaman Island never return? Yes. Very rigorous punishment is given to the prisoners there. That is why everyone is sad that such a learned, brilliant person was sent there. But why do people do such mad things that they get this punishment? Does it not mean that after going to Andaman, his life is almost finished? Yes. He knows it. These people are possessed by the idea of freeing our country from British rule. For the sake of freedom of our country. They are fighting against the British for them to leave our country and make us free. The British should not subjugate our big country. We should be independent. But why? We won't understand it. Shashikant sat upright. He was now thinking harder. How will we not understand? I have understood it now. A few hours back. Some learned person had made it clear. I heard him and also understood the idea of patriotism. But what should I do now? I must meet him before he leaves for Mumbai. Oh. But the boat for Mumbai leaves in the morning. I must meet him before that. Decided, he lay on the bed. Satisfied with his resolution, he slept under mild starlight. When the sun's rays had turned harsh, he was woken up by the slogans by the public, "Long live our leader." Shashikant remembered the boat for Mumbai would leave very soon. He wanted to meet his beloved leader before the boat leaves. He got ready quickly and started for the jetty, almost running. The port was 10 to 12 minutes away. On the way, he saw Visu Kaka. "What time does the boat leave?" Shashikant asked without stopping. "It's about to leave," Visu Kaka said. He looked at Shashikant. Shashikant increased his speed without even pausing for Visukaka. Very soon he reached the jetty. The boat was in the jetty still. His idol was already on the boat. The slogan shouting was going on. Shashikant was disappointed. He was getting upset as the slogans were getting louder. The siren was given indicating that the anchors were being taken off. There was hardly any time for Shashikant to take the decision. He was keen on meeting his idol. But how? The passengers were getting onto the boat in a queue. All of a sudden Shashikant's mood changed. He saw his uncle at the post of checking the tickets. He pushed aside the people in the queue and went close to the ticket-checking uncle. Uncle saw him. "Hey Shashi, how come you are here?" Before Shashikant could answer him, he further added, "Just wait here. Let me finish my duty." Shashikant very happily got aside and waited for the uncle. When the queue was over, there was another siren indicating the anchors were removed and the boat started moving into the sea. Shashikant was happy that he was on the boat and that his meeting with his beloved leader was going to take place. Soon, he spotted the leader surrounded by many people. He paved his way to the leader. "Namaste Guruji. I want to talk to you." He collected a few words and spoke. "Yes. Surely. Come here. Tell me what you want to say?" The leader asked. "Sir, can I join your movement?" The leader stared at him. "Of course. A good healthy boy like you will be certainly preferred. But do you know what joining the movement means? It means hardship. It puts you in jail. Very harsh punishments. Starvation. Are you prepared for all this? If it is necessary to serve our country, I am ready for all that," Shashikant said with full confidence. "Think once again. If you are agreeable to all types of hardships, you are in. You are with them whose sole aim is to free our country." Shashikant was on cloud nine. He was extremely happy. Then Shashikant asked many more questions and tried to grasp his role in the movement. In the evening, they got off the boat. His uncle told him that after he returned to Ratnagiri, he would visit his sister and would tell her about his safety. Shashikant touched his uncle's feet. Uncle blessed him for long life. Shashikant followed his leader. They went to a suburb of Mumbai by bus. In a small room, they relaxed for a few hours. After they had dinner and a mess, they went to see a senior member. On the way, they saw a small gathering of young people in a temple. The leader had just a look. But what Shashikant saw startled him. A British officer was ordering them to disperse. The gathered persons told him that they were doing some religious act. And unless that was complete, they would not leave the temple. The British official was angry. He took out his revolver and again threatened them that if they did not move, he would use his revolver. But still, the group did not move. The British aimed at one and fired. The young man collapsed in a pool of blood. But the group did not move. The British aimed at another person. But before he could fire, the British himself collapsed in the pool of blood. Shashikant saw his leader had taken out his revolver and he had shot at the British point blank. Shashikant realized very soon that the police would arrest his beloved leader and hang him. In a split second, Shashikant snatched the pistol from his leader and started running. The police were alerted and they ran behind Shashikant. After a chase of a couple of minutes, they arrested Shashikant and took him to a police station under the charge of murder of a British officer. The leader went to the police station and he wanted to make it clear that it was he who shot at the British and not Shashikant. But the police did not believe the leader as they had captured Shashikant red-handed running with a gun. The next day the judge declared the death sentence for Shashikant. In the jail, when the leader met Shashikant, said, "Boy, why did you do this?" "Sir, you have a bigger task of bringing many more Shashikant on the path of patriotism. Thank you sir for giving me the opportunity to serve my country." He further told the leader to inform his parents about him, telling them that their son had served his country. The next day, Shashikant's father read in the newspaper, "A youth from Ratnagiri will be hanged on the charge of killing a British officer. His name is Shashikant Gurov." Both parents were grieved but at the same time, they were proud of their son.